Hello, welcome to a brand new video series that I've thought of doing, and I've decided to make a episodic series on the Cobra Kai show. Sorry, that wasn't the best start, but I feel like this series has been quite underrated and not really spoken about much. Granted, there are a good few mainstream channels that have talked about it, but I feel like it should be talked about more, especially with what each episode achieves. I haven't watched it in a while, but I have seen it a few times before, so yeah, it should be rather fun. And I think probably watched the series before jumping into this, unless you're not bothered and you're just interested in what it achieves. Because when looking at all sorts of media that tries to continue from classic IPs, I think this alongside Maverick are two of the best executed ones. So yeah, Cobra Kai is based on the Karate Kid quadrilogy. Well, yeah, it was four films, or is four films rather. Sorry, and yeah, they decided to one second. Decided to make a sequel series, and yeah, wow, it is fantastic. Anyway, so I'm on Netflix on before the logo begins. You shouldn't hear any of the video audio, especially with my headphones on. So yeah, I'm just going to talk through bits and bobs about it. About my personal experiences. What the story achieves, any bits I like, what could be improved. I'll try and be as broad as possible. Just generally interested, as in just showcasing what I think is done really well, while also possibly coming up with a few improvements. And not to mention, despite trying to go for more of a family friendly channel, because all my animated work and so forth, I've tried to go for a consistent family friendly audience, which is why all the comments have been off, so that much younger audiences can watch my animations. But as Cobra Kai is a 15, that means they're down to make this available for kids. Not they should be watching 15 rated content, or well, in the UK, yeah, it's 15 rated, or is it R rated in the US? Stuff like that. So yeah, that means that I will allow comments this time. And in that way we can, or any of you can, mention any other additional things, what your experiences are like, any improvements, any points I've got wrong, etc. So yeah, I'm going to allow them and see what happens. Alright, so without further ado, in fact, let me just do one more thing and then we can get started. Yeah, just get my thing up and ready. Alright. Okay, so get your episode 1 ready. Bang on 0 at the start. 3, 2, 1. Yeah, so I think first of all, I just remember not knowing what else to watch. Oh yeah, you're watching these with me, by the way. Yeah, I just got bored, didn't know what else to watch, and then I went for this, and I was just surprised. The first few seconds were really grabbing me. And yeah, we've got this flashback. I can't believe this is near Christmas of '84. Didn't really notice that. So yeah, flashback of the first film. Pretty much the final fight. I have seen all of the films. Granted, I have seen the series before, but yeah, it just makes these films so much better. No, the films, because the first one I think is rather solid, and then the future ones achieve some things. But yeah, but even despite how good the first film is, I think the rest of this series just really amps it up. Yeah, even moments like this, like they really make it more meaningful. And yeah, what's also clever about this is because if you've seen the adverts and that, it focuses on Johnny Lawrence, the rival of Daniel LaRusso, And yeah, it's almost filmed from his perspective almost. Yeah, he's almost in the forefront. Yeah, like look at the camera focus on him. And you can see the rest of his buddies as well. They come about. Yeah, they get as many people as possible from this entire universe. Okay, so in the film, Johnny crawls off the stage quite quickly after the kick, but instead he falls on his face. I think this is just how he sees it rather, unless they have mixed up the continuity. And I think also he's positioned like that to follow on with this match shot, which you can see. But yeah, I think you can see it either way, whether it's how he sees it or if it's actually a continuity flaw. So yeah, now we're on to the main character's routine, because I remember studying structuring character arcs a lot, when I was creating my own stories, and yeah, I just remember seeing product placement. Yeah, I remember a calls tower nearby an area I used to live. Anyway, but yeah, when studying how to introduce a character, and one of the main things is to see the character has his routine, and yeah, they do a lot of stuff in these few seconds, showing his living conditions, what he eats, what he wears, what pelts he can get through his day. Oh, look at that shot. Yeah, really. Yeah, the trophy hidden in the wardrobe, yeah, definitely represents how he would have tried to put that all the karate stuff aside to him, and as he had him, from the final scene in the films, you can guess why he has put that aside. And also, there's a picture on the fridge that definitely gives you a hint. There we go. We've got an introduction to another character. Yeah, Johnny's quite close-minded. Well, not only close-minded, but also quite antisocial as well. Yeah, Miguel's definitely nice and neat, and you have Johnny who's quite messy. Yeah, so not only do you have the live conditions matching with his life, but, well, at the moment, but he just seems to get on with it. Yeah, he's just really negative about everything at this point. And poor Miguel, he's just trying to be nice. And him moving to this area, yeah, it's definitely reminiscent of the first film and the fourth one, was there, with the different protagonists. Oh yeah, there you go, more of his past not really escaping. Oh wow, looks like Daniel was rich enough to get another billboard, wow. Oh yeah, that's how the Tartar and Swords come about. And I think what I also really like about the earlier seasons is that they go for rock songs that aren't the most well known. In the future ones, I do go for songs that are more recognisable, but I do like the few choices there. Yeah, Johnny's definitely one of those people who he thinks he's still young and he tries to hit on younger women. I'm not sure how successful he was in the past, but he's definitely not now. He's not really making himself any, not very presentable. Needs to shave. Oh yeah, we've seen even more of his routine as well, so that's his current job. Definitely not paying enough, yeah. Oh yeah, Will Smith, yeah, he helps produce these. Like, after the spin-off with Jaden, well, no, the remake rather, he, yeah, looks like Will wanted to help, assuming that's the same Will Smith. Yeah, it's so weird where you have a series of films, then a remake, and then the old series just continues. I found that really weird. But I can personally separate it enough once you start thinking about it. And then you have this long running gag that shows that Johnny isn't the most intelligent folk. Yeah, because even in the times when you see him at school in the first film, he's not into his education at all. So yeah, I don't think he's very educated either. Poor lad. But yeah, you get to see more of his yeah, because as well as getting an idea about a character's routine, you also get to see well, just as before the inciting incident comes about, you do just have, character can have a day where they'll already encountered some bad luck, and yeah, it just helps us feel for them, and it just gradually changes into a new way of life they'll be heading to. Again, the swearing definitely hints the the kind of show this is. I do like the jokes in this series. Yeah, they've been rather good. Yeah, especially when you come. Yeah, when did you see more of them? Yeah, I can. Yeah, if we could see you didn't like your job. I keep forgetting what I was going to say. But yeah, it's just when looking at the other films, they even that like the language was similar, but in this one it's a bit more mature, more swear words than that. Because not only would the audience of the original Karate Kid would have grown up, but I think the making it 15, it does enable it to more violence and just like the kind of vibe to go for. And yeah, it's a really interesting choice. Oh yeah, Miguel's trying to find his way. Seems to be doing alright so far. He hasn't really found any friends yet, but that will change. Oh yeah, Johnny's still trying to get away from Miguel, and also Miguel mentioning his grandmother. Yeah, gets to show that who he's living with. Is he just living with the grandma? Is there more family? I guess that you'll find out more as it goes on. I feel like Johnny goes to this shop often, but he doesn't really get on well with the cashier. There go the next generation bullies. Yeah, from the very few video essays you can find online, there's the interesting idea about how everything goes in a cycle, and yeah, it's a very interesting concept. That it's like these everyday things. Going to new places, bullies, and training new people how to fight. Yeah, it's an understandable loop. I know that this is probably a universe where karate probably has more of a presence, but even then, it still feels rather natural. Oh gosh. But yeah, I say going back to loops, like someone else wanted to say earlier, is that there's a lot of parallels with the other films, because not only are these loops or the same things happening to different people, is it a bit more natural without being contrived? But yeah, it's just the new content makes enough of an effort to justify the similar events happening, despite happening before. Yeah, if you get what I mean. Because yeah, a lot of other IPs get accused of, repeating like the same ideas. But yeah, this is different enough so far. And yeah, interesting thing that Johnny only comes in once his car has been hit instead of instantly going to Miguel. So yeah, it just goes to show that yeah, he's not bothered about Miguel being in trouble. He's just getting annoyed himself, and he's already taken it very personally. And also, like riding a bike, never forget how to do things like that. Oh yeah, you can tell he hasn't done that in a while. He's making a bit. Yeah, a lot of people really like this fight because he's actually protecting Miguel. So yeah, it's mostly justified. Yeah, I think that's the other thing as well, because despite how trodden Johnny is, he's made us laugh. He has some reasons why he's a bit run down, and then he's fighting karate. So you're already being like, oh yeah, he's downtrodden, but he's rather cool. And yeah, I just remember feeling like that because I didn't really know what to think of Johnny before watching this show. Sure, seen very little of him. Thought he was, I just don't know what to make of him. But then after this first episode, I've really rooted for him. I felt like doing like some fighting breakdowns because I like martial arts. Oh, yeah, yeah, that's definitely reasonable. But you can't go out fighting without getting into trouble. Although, as you can see later, he does can't get into trouble. Yeah, probably for different reasons. Because yeah, he's never. I don't think he's used his karate in a very long time. Oh yeah, and he's probably waited to thank him. Yeah, I wonder who was next him. Probably his parents. Well, no, mum rather, or grandma. Oh, there go. Someone knows some stuff. That's interesting. But yeah, Johnny's like, hearing the apology, but he's not really taking it to heart. Oh yeah, and he goes, yeah, he's definitely moved recently. Yeah, no school, yeah. Yeah, despite knowing different types of martial arts, he doesn't know some of the terminology. Yeah, even I probably wouldn't have known it's called a dojo. God, yeah, Miguel didn't need that. Oh, I wonder what that's on the TV. Because there's a lot of like older media that plays, to add to that 80s theme it goes for. Oh yeah, that his daddy's the actor died recently. Yeah, rest in peace. Yeah, it does a very good performance, I'll say that. I don't think I've seen him in anything else. Oh yeah, this is his stepdad, by the way. He's despite not really having much presence in the show, there are like a lot of snippets which makes him drive for why Johnny's in that position. Yeah, you'll see more of later on. Yeah, is Johnny's mum's dead? I think so. Yeah, you get to see more of his Johnny's apartment as well. Yeah, just a little bit of geography. It's kind of small, but it's nice to know the place, and it does change over time as well. Kind of like that. Yeah, that carer of his. Yeah, I don't think we really see her later on. But yeah, you get to despite not never really seeing the stepdad in the films at all, not even a mention. I don't think. Probably could infer it because I don't know. I don't really. I need to watch the old films again. But yeah, you get quite a decent sense of relationship, with the stepdad being like, oh, he can't going into trouble, and I think even right here, he's just trying to provide some help, and yeah, because the stepdad, I don't think he's like the most caring for Johnny, but I think he's trying to take some sort of responsibility, despite not being the best bloke. He's been rather downplaying of Johnny, just as Johnny's been downplaying other people, so yeah. Oh, he's giving some more stuff as well. Okay, so yeah, still trying to be nice. But yeah, I wonder what film this is. This definitely looks like an 80s thing. I would have put it in a glass. I don't like cans. Maybe it's trying to mix it. Yeah, that wouldn't do very good for you. Yeah, the additional alcohol would definitely would explain the 15 rating. Yeah, I say another thing about this series is that reference of the media like shows and music, and despite a couple of modern mentions, it just kind of goes back into the 80s, because it's probably, the Valley, it's probably a city that used to thrive in the 80s and it kind of wants to maintain that. But even then, Johnny is he's a very nostalgic bloke who probably likes this good old times. And yeah, look, he's in his flashbacks now. Oh yeah, with all that fighting that's come back to him, he's definitely thinking of something. Yeah, from what the show is, or whatever he was watching, there must have been getting some ideas in his head. Yeah, that's his rival again. Yeah, I say a weird thing is that people used to say that the show makes Johnny better by making Daniel more likable, but I don't get that. Because in the start of the second film, I remember when Daniel was like, "Oh, cool, I got a signature from someone." So Daniel's always been kind of prideful, and there's plenty of other things that makes Daniel likable anyway. Well, personally, I think so. I think that's up for debate, but I can sort of see, but I don't think it's definitely not a beta switch kind of situation. There's definitely, he's still the same character in that, and they're both far from despite the added material. Oh yeah, by the way, this is probably my favourite song ever that's come out of this show. Yeah, a really, really good suitable track as well. Yeah, even the use of flashbacks is quite well done because, not only is it a good quick catch up for those who haven't seen the films, but he's definitely thinking of those. Because I bet Johnny hasn't really thought of those memories for a very long time because all sorts of stuff happened since he lost that tournament back in 1984. Yeah, some good catching up as well. You're kind of wondering who those people are. Yeah, and even if you haven't seen the films, you do get a lot of good details about both the people that trained them. Oh yeah, so one flaw that was spotted. Yeah, he's drink driving and there's no consequence. He does get a consequence later on, but not because of that. And I think that's something that the future of the series kind of avoided, which is good. But and also not to mention it's 15 as well, so it would already be for an audience that would already know about those risks, because if something like that happened in a kids film, then much younger audiences would be like, oh, I can get drunk and drive, which is definitely not the case. So like I said, as long as they avoid it, because I think that's the other good thing about the showrunners. Well, I know that's just mentioned for the first time. They seem to listen to the criticism and make sure they work on it, and there's a lot of evidence of making improvements, from what's been said, older episodes than that. I was wondering why Johnny went to that car park, and I think is he still into his memories, more as in trying to look back. But yeah, that's the last scene we ever see Johnny in the films. He does get saved by Mr. Miyagi, who used to train Daniel. Okay, now that's a consequence. Yeah, she was using her phone and now she's crashed. And this is pretty much the inciting incident. You can see why this car crash would lead to a couple of things. Because the crash happening at this time is definitely a bit, it's contrived, but what makes it forgivable is that an inciting incident is a type of coincidence that helps push the story in a certain direction, like the, just like the, a certain steer that will get the main story going, out of the character's ordinary routine. And thanks to some setup, we can, we know Daniel's into this business, and even if you haven't seen the films, you can tell that he's definitely not too into this Daniel. Yeah, because if you were young and you lost a tournament to somebody, then I think it's some people might think it's a bit daft to dislike someone after all of this time, but not only has Johnny possibly been constantly reminded of him, and not to mention Daniel also being a much better place than him, but there's also sorts of people who, despite forming rivalries when they're young, and sometimes they look back and they still don't like this person. So definitely reasonable. He's probably priding himself because he's a bit underdressed. And he's just trying to not give himself any attention. Because everyone else is nice and well dressed, and he's okay. Now he's moved to a spot. I think he gets dates the classes off later, so that's where he's hoping to get up and go. But as you can see later, that's definitely not possible. Yeah, I wonder where the valley is, and it's fictional, but unless it's a real place in America somewhere, I'm not sure. I forgot where, I think Johnny's always lived in the valley, but Daniel used to be in New Zealand, New Jersey, is that where Daniel used to live? Or something like that. And yeah, you can definitely tell that Johnny definitely wants the car away from Daniel, and yeah, and as you can see later, yeah, the car seems to have a lot of meaning to him. It's an old car as well, so it really shows Johnny trying to keep hold of anything that's you know just avoiding anything new really. She seems to be looking back, seems to what keeps him going. Well, yeah, and there's Daniel trying to be civil with Johnny. It's probably the first time they met since the tournament in '84. Yeah, I really like this meeting. I think that's also helped get me invested. Just seeing these grown people, see how they respond to another. But as we know later on, it goes way beyond this meeting. They'll keep encountering each other. Yeah, another interesting thing is that despite the event still playing the same when watching these films, you do see another character's perspective, and Daniel was partially right that the girl was already single, and and even in the films, trying to get her back, and and this is where you do see more of his side of that. Well, I think that's something you'll get more on later on instead of this. But yeah, so you see more evidence of Johnny having a grudge against him. Yeah, even the two other men that were next to Daniel, then yeah, they'll keep coming back. One of them who's his cousin, and Daniel's mum also had a brother, so a lot of people thought that the cousin could be from that particular family. Yeah, the uncle who we saw in the third one briefly, that the mum had to look after. Yeah, and even Daniel was like, yeah, I think if Johnny's like wanting to get the car away from his service, I think, oh yeah, even Daniel's being nice as well. Yeah, and Johnny's not really taking it. Yeah, I think, yeah, Daniel probably can sense, Johnny not really having a sense of moving on, and yeah, Daniel's just continuing to be nice. Yeah, thanks to Mr. Miyagi's advice, I suppose. Oh yeah, thanks to the advert, yeah, you can see what Johnny might be given. Yeah, so quite a quick moment back there, so I think that flashback was definitely justified. And yeah, we can now see that those two are family, so yeah, that definitely creates some interesting bits and bobs, and it does pay off in an interesting way later in the season. I do like bonsai trees. They kind of remind me of those. I forgot the names of the trees in Africa in the savannah. They're really nice shape. I really like that line as well. Daniel is saying that Cobra Kai, is shouldn't be a thing anymore. But as we can see later on, it helps Johnny again. But then later on in the show, just becomes this constant domino effect. Yeah, I won't go too much detail on that yet. Oh yeah, seeing people use this shot a couple of times in the video essays. Yeah, the idea of struck it away. Yeah, so yeah, thanks to getting back into fighting again. Seeing that all of that looking back seems to help him at the moment. Yeah, it looks like yeah, he's got an idea for what he can do. Yeah, and then also him to train Miguel. He's trying to, because I think as you can see later on, he's wanting to like make Cobra Kai a different thing. To give him purpose again. Oh yeah, I like how he's stepping on Daniel said on the newspaper there. Yeah, that's an interesting detail. Yeah, so despite a lot of elements from Cobra Kai, which he's continuing, he's he's trying to make it his own thing. And he's going to try and teach someone, with some elements of Cobra Kai while adding elements of himself. Yeah, very nice speech. And yeah, and every episode ends with that emblem, which is rather cool. Alright, going to talk beyond the credits there. So yeah, I'm just going to play back the episode again. I'm going to give myself something to watch while I speak. But yeah, possibly my favourite ever starting episode. There's a lot of starting episodes I like, but not gonna lie, there's some of the ones I have favourites of are more for long running shows like Waterloo Road or that's the UK show, by the way. But I think with the ones I like, they do well with showing you what the premise, what the setting is, the overall premise, what to expect, what's the maturity going to be like, who are we going to be following later on. And I'm struggling to think of other beginning episodes. I probably have too many, but I just really like this one because not only is it more story focused, almost like an extensive film, but it does all sorts of things well. We know who our lead is. We saw his routine. We saw how he went through some bad luck, and then thanks to some of his past coming back to him, he's found something that can give him more purpose. There's probably more to it, but I think that's where we need to look back, and I would need to look back and see what the just the more of the pieces that gets drawn into this decision. But this episode that really got me to continue watching the show, and then the way it's already trying to add to the original story whilst adding a couple of new elements, such as the addition of Miguel and even Daniel's daughter briefly. It's already quite interesting. See and Daniel's been successful because the last time we saw him, he was with a bonsai tree shop with Mr. Miyagi, and then there's like Johnny in this show, you also get filled gaps in between Daniel's history, which kind of explains how Daniel managed to be successful and why Johnny's the opposite of that. So we also have just a really nice parallel as well, and a couple of characters along the way, such as the men that are close by to Daniel and Johnny's dad, and the bullies that are Bonneville, Miguel. And you get to see more of the setting as well, like the store, and seeing other houses, just really interesting to see what the other people are like in the valley. Even if it's the modern era, it still has that, just like a certain feel which you can get when looking at residents in the, in the films. It's if I was thinking tell it's a really solid start. I think like I said, it's the first time I've done this commentary video, so it's just kind of tricky to pick up everything at once, but I can still capture the main events, and all of them are nicely in line, and you have some cool music, some cool lines. The jokes are quite funny as well. I think I'll just probably start right there. I think a couple of other things that based in the age degenerate. That's what Johnny was referred to in the first film. We're doing his first scene actually. So really interesting title name. The first time we see Johnny again, the title of the episode is when we first see Johnny in the film. So just really nice detail. They do have plenty of Easter eggs throughout this. from the original films. So it's just already providing a really good expression. Oh, I just suddenly realised, because I'm rewatching the episode again, to give myself a visual. Yeah, Daniel's billboard, it was labelled in multiple places. I wonder if the valley is part of one of those locations, not sure. Anyway, and we'll just stop there. Like I said, it's the first time I've done this, and if you're interested in what else I'm going to do, I'm going to do a film commentary on a film, one that's also been really not spoken about much. I even thought about two, and I know my microphone's not the best, so I apologise for that as well. Just let me know what you think. And as I haven't really gone through everything in this episode, I might do like more in-depth analysis videos in the future. I guess it depends, but I think that's what we'll use the comment section for. Just any other additional bits and bobs. Talking about the craft of the episode. I think I'm out of words. So let's I'll end it right there. So all of you have a good day, and I'll see you with episode 2 of season 1. Hello, and welcome to my second commentary. So this is season 1, episode 2 of Cobra Kai. I would definitely recommend you to watch the first episode, whether it's the analysis or just the overall story. Never like this show at least is like a good first chapter, which helps you remind you of everything else. But definitely don't skip to episode 2 straight away because of you get the idea. I've already established a lot of ground rules in the first episode. What I'll be discussing, and I'm also opening. These are the only type of videos I'll be allowing the comment section for. To talk about anything. Alright, let's move on to episode 2. Assuming that you've seen the first episode. Alright, so bang on 0. 3, 2, 1. I wonder if I think Sony must have had the right to do this series all this time. I think that's we do get hints of Daniel's normal routine, so it's a very interesting start considering we saw Johnny last time. I'm not the biggest fan of the song choice though, because whilst Johnny seems to be all about the rock music, I felt like Daniel should be like 80s pops instead. But looking at the lyrics now, just working, it fits with the routine. It just goes to show how successful and happy his life is. He still has that fighting spirit in him. Because a lot of that, his knowledge of fighting, it kind of uses it for the adverts, does an alternative way of advertising, which is really nice. You can see bits of bobs of his wife being really happy as well. A lot of product placement as well with these cars. Quite bold for an early part of the season. He's not seen that logo in a long time. Some really rough moments. It's pretty much every time Johnny hurt him. And trauma like that is definitely going to stick with you. We do have a cool transition. Well, coolish, that's part of the wall. We can see what Johnny's managed to do with the place. I didn't notice that water fountain. There we go, that's going to be one of Johnny's recurring lines. Also learning some terminology like gi and sensei. No time to waste. The film's never really talked about those 3 phases, but for the show to give more of a meaning of those 3 lines. Yeah, just really interesting. It's interesting advice as well, but it is flawed because you can't exactly pit someone, but it's the karate that worked for him. But yeah, so almost like Daniel's way of karate, comparing karate to life or linking it to real life, and Johnny's already talking about how it can work with Johnny's not good with long words. Yeah, I think that's the other interesting thing about the show as well, is that there's a lot of like aspects of woke culture. It does like just like lead touch on, well, just like acknowledging it. Yeah, and that fits with the first film. Whoever does something wrong, he has to do though. Yeah, sorry, my thing's been paused. Sorry if you heard any audio earlier. You think that the other people should call him that? But yeah, sorry, like I said, sorry if you heard any voice earlier. Hopefully the audio should be, or my recorder should be synced for the episode still. Sorry, losing my breath after moving. Yeah, just a interesting detail, I suppose, with a new business coming up, and yeah, of course you need to keep track of it, especially if it's going to be a karate one. Yeah, explains it quite simply, and you can see with the dangling wire, this place still has a lot to work on. Look at these things in the corner, and they need to be organised, and they certainly do. Yeah, not gonna lie, not very good at harmony works. I'm getting there, but yeah, I just find economics such a hard topic to keep track of. Keep the logo the same as well, nice. Oh yeah, it's annoying when you get these simpler things wrong. So yeah, whilst Johnny's doing that, you see, yeah, I think we do go back to Daniel's routine. Yeah, and that's his son. Yeah. Yeah, even I like to do progressive things, but I at least make the most out of a new place I go to. Yeah, Daniel definitely understands that. Aunt Tessie. Oh, Aunt Tessie's at oh, we'll keep that name in mind. Yeah, I don't want to reveal anything in the future seasons yet. Yeah, we don't really see that bloke again, but the daughter definitely has a role later on with a school established, and the story you can see how she could be part of the school. Oh yeah, she already has a friendship with Daniel's daughter as well. So yeah, that's a couple of seeds planted. Oh, okay. Oh yeah, so yeah, getting trouble like that. I think he must be, worrying about the daughter, especially with Cobra Kai coming back, and despite very little presence so far, it could quickly grow, and I think that's what Daniel's kind of scared of. Oh, why didn't you interrupt his story? Yeah, I think he would have explained to Amanda's the name of the wife, isn't it? Yeah, she's the actress who plays Sheldon's sister, older sister in the original Big Bang Theory. I think that's another interesting thing, because for those who know the original films, there's trolls that help with the karate, but instead it's just work that Don is getting him through. I don't think he's getting punished. I think Miguel's just trying to help him out. Say that again. Yeah, Miguel's all nice and innocent, and it'll be interesting to see what he's like as he goes through the DJ more. Yeah, he's still trying to connect to Johnny, and Johnny's loosened up a little bit, but he's still not the most open. Yeah, and Johnny's like, I wonder what he's talking about, with a mention of a debate, but later get to see why. Oh yeah, so there's already something that kind of gets in the way of the goal. Oh yeah, that's something they have in common already, something which we all learn about with either character really. Oh no. To be fair, I didn't really know Guns N' Roses until I was 13, when I was just looking into music in my own time. Yeah, I like researching for new songs, which is evident by some other videos I released, recommending underrated songs. Hopefully they should be out, but if this series has come first, then yeah, do check them out if you want to listen to new songs. Yeah. I think that's the other interesting thing about this show as well. It does go almost like back and forth between the adult stuff and the teenage stuff, and yeah, there has been a debate about that kind of balance, but I think it's fairly well balanced there, because Johnny and Daniel are still somewhat the main leads. Yeah, some other interesting things as well, such as Daniel's daughter seeing Kyla. Yeah, and with Kyla being beaten up by Johnny earlier, then in the previous episode, that's definitely something interesting. How many babies does Daniel have? Which one aren't his? Yeah, so Daniel being reminded of these bits and bobs, it's made him a little bit uptight. I think he would have responded in similar ways, but just without the uptightness if he didn't see Cobra Kai logo earlier. Yeah, another interesting angle of the original films is that whilst you do get it's mainly about kids growing up with only like minor hints of some parents or the senseis trying to help the youngsters, but in this case you still get seeing the youngsters with the with the normal lives, but then you also get the characters that were previously kids and now parents, and yeah, it's just an interesting way to experience the story. Yeah, Daniel's definitely famous across the valley, evidently. Oh wow, it's dawn. Dawn or dusk? I get confused which one's which. Not gonna lie, but yeah, it must have taken him a while. Yeah, with all of that pool stuff being taken out, yeah, I can see why I could have knocked the photo over. And he probably hasn't, as we can probably see here right now, he probably hasn't taken all of this stuff in for quite a while. Even as we just saw now, he used to train his daughter, and I don't think his daughter has been doing quite too much recently. That's something that's also going to be hinted at. But yeah, nice little flashback. I'm not sure if there's any de-aging done to Daniel. Yeah, can't really see. Yeah, that's some Miyagi advice. Yeah, just a lot of lines reused in a very meaningful way. Yeah, just goes to show that all this time, Daniel's definitely not let go of any of Miyagi's advice. Yeah, interesting to see a Zoom call in a Karate Kid production. But yeah, of course, it's the budget times. Of course, you're going to see the likes of this coming about. Even like with modern technology, set to the modern day, that definitely introduces a couple of interesting things to the story, which you'll also see far later in the series. Yeah, from just seeing more what Sam's like with her main friends, or friends at this point. Okay, yeah, she's apologised immediately, and so is he. Okay, yeah, that's rather good. Yeah, it's interesting to see a room as well. Just see what I can point out. Yeah, you get to see more of Daniel being a parent there, and yeah, he seems to do very well. And when her admitting something that's happening with her recently, it's you get to see quite a nice bond between them. Yeah, Daniel's definitely very sociable. Trying to see what Kyla's like. Oh, Jersey. I thought, was he originally from New Jersey? Yeah, did I get it right in the previous season? I'm not sure. Oh yeah, that's some of the bullies. Yeah, he's trying to be wary of them. Yeah, it looks like school's not very hands-on with the rules, shaking the vending machine like that. But yeah, I think some schools like that anyway. And yeah, so somewhere with the least amount of spots. Yeah, we'd definitely see more of those two. Yeah, I really like them too. So Dimitri is, he's tries to act smart, and then you have Eli, who's already kind of quiet at first, which we'll also see more later on. Rich girls. Oh, okay, so it's not just Daniel Lewis who's rich around the valley then. Yeah, definitely the opposite. Yeah, I guess it's a trope I've seen a couple of times, but about having like the oddities in school. Yeah, it's probably similar to the In-Betweeners, but hey, it's a new thing because Daniel, none of the protagonists in the original films really. I guess Daniel had Ali, but that was just focusing on a love interest, and of course there was Johnny, that's the rival. But then to have Miguel, who's managed to find his own friends, it just helps very, his just make his origin a bit more different to Daniel's, despite some comparisons. That's what I was meant to say. Oh yeah, so despite talking about the doubt, Miguel's trying to work on his Cobra Kai advice already. Yeah, good for him. Yeah, I don't know if I would feel this confident after doing one session of martial arts, but I suppose it depends what you've been taught. Yeah, I think Sam must have been thinking, oh, he seems nice, but Kyla's there, and she's already probably met Kyla a few times, so yeah. Interesting point. So yeah, Miguel still doesn't really know how to follow through, despite a couple of tips. I really want to have a go on one of those dummies. Yeah, they look great. Because I've only practiced on their punching bag in where I go to, and it works. But this feels like is more precise and accurate. Yeah, I do really like scenes like this where you get to see how like the fighting works. Because yeah, there's not much media where you watch like fighting techniques being broken down. So yeah, to watch scenes like this is really interesting. So yeah, Johnny's demonstrated that quite well, and you get to see later on that Miguel's not doing. Okay, no, he's starting to press, but he's missing the power. Yeah, people intake advice better than others. Yeah, so I think that's who we can assume is the fatal on the fridge. Yeah, Johnny has a son, and yeah, he's the first part of filling the gap in his history. Yeah, some more modern terminology Johnny's unaware of. If he's been like stuck in his apartment watching his old films, no wonder he's still uneducated. Yeah, so it's definitely one of those dynamics where because of Johnny having a rough life, he doesn't know how to make Robbie's life better. But at least it's another interesting thing that story can progress on. Oh yeah, that sad look. Yeah, and now he's seeing that the girl's not really reaching his potential until now. Yeah, definitely one of those moments where Johnny's providing them extra tips that can help him. And this is definitely like the first sign of Miguel like using his anger to try and fight. Because part of Cobra Kai is using that all of his negative emotions and turning that into combat. So yeah, to see that that side of Miguel for the first time is quite interesting. Okinawa. Yeah, that's sorry, not sure I pronounced that correctly. Sorry. Yeah, that's Mr. Miyagi's birthplace and the place that we saw in Karate Kid 2. Yeah, a really nice place. Alright, so not the best impression from Skylar. Even Sam's not quite impressed. At least the mom's trying to find a solution though. So yeah, Daniel seems to be into his food, proper stuff. And him being rich probably allows him to, get hold of stuff like that. Yeah, it's just another interesting side to him. Compared to Johnny's, seems him into his alcohol and cheap stuff, like the pizza from the store. Yeah, he's trying to. Yeah, he's trying to wander a car there. Oh yeah, so from Daniel's experiences, he seems to spot the signs. Yeah, and of course Kyle's gonna well, Kyla is trying to deny it first because the situation was, it's a bit of a death situation, which you'll explain later. Yeah, he's just, he's been fighting against a grown person. Yeah, just like that, yeah. Daniel seems to try and understand the situation until he sees what who Kylo was actually fighting. Yep, and so after being familiar with the logo, whereabouts it was placed. Yeah, Daniel's like, okay, so if it was in this place, then it must be next to the dojo. So, oh yeah, I like this line. Yeah, unlike Miyagi, he was really precise with his technique. Johnny's like, yeah, just clean, however. Yeah, another interesting parallel. But yeah, anyway, yeah, Daniel has enough information to sorry, just getting sidetracked. Yeah, about how they're talking to each other. Yeah, they seem to be bonding a bit more. Yeah, they probably spent nearly the whole day together. Well, the whole afternoon, and looks like it's night time now. Yep, first time he's been in a Cobra Kai thing since, well, not since 1985. Yeah, a really good scene to really like their rivalry. And yeah, I think that's one of the best parts about this show is the whole black and white grey perspectives. And whilst Daniel probably sees Johnny, picking on some smaller people, as Johnny explains later on, it's Miguel who was getting attacked, and so Johnny was just trying to protect Miguel. Yeah, as he explains that, Daniel's a bit mixed about that. It probably makes him a bit skeptical of Kyler as well. Oh yeah, Miguel coming about does kind of diffuse the rivalry a bit. Oh yeah, another interesting bit. Yeah, Daniel definitely understands how Cobra Kai can influence people. Yeah, and he's trying to, probably trying to warn them a little bit. And there's Johnny trying to be quite inviting to get a fight from him, and yeah, Daniel's of course refusing. Yeah, because he's kind of karate, You save them from fighting Miguel, I won't worry. Yep, so they started to get involved with one another again. Yeah, I feel like Johnny just smiled there because he got a bit more of an upper hand. He was almost in the right this time, defending someone, and that whoever, what kind of friend Sam was making, probably not the best kind of people that Sam was mixing with. Anyway, very good second episode. Yeah, the second episodes are good for expanding what the first episode introduced, and just further adding elements to keep us invested, especially with realising the rivalry between Johnny and Daniel. Just all sorts of bits and bobs, just see, just rewatching the episode again. Yeah, we've seen Daniel's day-to-day routine, what he's like with his workers, and also seeing more of his wife as well, and his relationship with the children, and also more what his children are like. And then you also have the first steps of Johnny and Miguel's relationship building up a bit as well. Because sometimes when I think it's already quite early to judge, because sometimes shows can have a really good first episode and then they start like not being as good as the first one, which can give you mixed impression at first, but this one definitely has the same good execution that the first episode has. So yeah, it's still more to keep you invested. And I'm just skipping on around the episode. Yeah, I really like the karate stuff as well. Yeah, this is some of the first karate training in the whole show, and we didn't really see. We saw bits and bobs of how Cobra Kai trains in the films, but I don't know what else to say about this episode. Yeah, just a good follow up. I remained invested, get to learn more bits and bobs about the characters. Like with Miguel, his mum's not the keen on karate. He doesn't know what Guns N' Roses are. He's probably seen a small snippet of Johnny having, what he thinks of Daniel. Because I don't think Miguel would have ever heard of Daniel before. And just only to see that snippet, he probably has some idea of what kind of trouble Johnny gets into, or what kind of trouble he used to go in. They have some interesting bobs about the setting as well. Just looking at that party Daniel's family was at. I don't know whereabouts this takes place, but lastly, that Daniel has a pool in his backyard. He definitely shows more of his wealth. And you can also, I'm just also at the second scene inside Johnny's dojo. I think that looks like the original winning. Well, actually, no, we saw the second winning trophy, that he got in the films. But Daniel still would have won a gold first trophy. Probably not like that. Could be the original model, unless those who made the show decided to make another one. Also nice to see Johnny look a bit neater. Definitely a visual sign of some progression. It shows that Johnny's making a bit more of an effort, a bit more proactive, which is also quite good in any protagonist when because that's the thing about protagonists, they start off as reactive people with their own set of beliefs, but then they become more proactive, with their beliefs challenged, and it's nice to for me to learn these things and see a show like this, hitting multiple boxes, or hitting multiple targets, ticking a lot of boxes, firing many pillars, whatever metaphor you like to go for. Because if trying to interpret an arc, I think it's almost too early to judge, but we can already see that Johnny needs to learn to be more sociable, trying to move off from his past, not letting his anger go to him, and Daniel also has that similar aspect of not letting his past influence, because he's trying not to let the rivalry get brought back to him. So does Daniel really have an arc in there? I think that's something we'll find out more, but I think that with Johnny being the most flawed character at this point, he's definitely the one who has had some of the most changes happen to him so far, and we can assume that he will continue to change the most throughout the rest of the show if it stays consistently good. And I guess a small spoiler, it does. I don't really have a favourite episode. I just like all of them in similar ways. I do have my favourite scenes, and there are seasons that I like just subjectively more than others. But I think I guessed a couple of times of which season could be better than one another, and I think I would say that season 1 is one of the better executed seasons. Just because of how on point and focused it is, and when wanting to stop up any story, of course you have to make a really good first step, and the show is already doing that well so far. So yeah, nice for the show to hit those kind of marks. Oh yeah, we get to see the school, introduction to Miguel's new friends. Also seen a snippet of Johnny's son Robbie, and yeah, I think we'll start there. Like I said, very good second episode, and yeah. Anyway, yeah, I'll let you go, and yeah, thankfully, I like how easy and short these videos are, quick to make. Sorry, not sure I said the right words then. But anyway, you get the gist. Hope you enjoyed the video. Yeah. I'll just let you go. I'm stuttering with the words. Right. So yeah. Hello all. Welcome to my commentary for Cobra Kai Season 1, Episode 3, with the episode called Esqueleto. I think that's how to say it. Quick reminder. So the comment section only exists for these videos because of the age rating of this show. Just a small community where we can talk about the pros and the improvements that could be made in this episode, amongst other things. And so I guess a quick catch up. We have the rivalry of Johnny and Daniel being reignited. We've learned a little bit more about Miguel and Daniel's daughter Samantha, or Sam for short, and we were introduced to Dimitri and Eli. Been seeing their school, and also Samantha and Kyla have, starting dating, I suppose. And yeah, so very cool cliffhanger. I really remember bits of the episode, so it's cool to revisit it. Anyway, let's go in 3, 2, 1. If you have your Netflix episode, go. Oh gosh, it's a long time since I watched this. Sony's logo appears after the Netflix one. Oh yeah, I like views like that. Yeah, rock music. Yeah, I bet that's Miguel, so we can see that Johnny's influence of rock music has already got to Miguel already. Oh yeah, that's his grandmother, by the way. Yeah, it's nice to see Miguel practices in his own time and really shows his investment in sport. Oh yeah, Miguel's mum is a nurse, is she? I could be wrong, but yeah, it's the first time I see her. She seems very nice so far, and it's only just been a few seconds. Oh, the Halloween dance. Yeah, that'll be for the school. And also talking about a pricey may have to talk about pricey things. Yeah, I think it goes to show that they don't have the most amount of money, which could be paralleled with Johnny, if put paralleling Johnny and Miguel. Referencing earlier. Yeah, it looks like there's a bit more technique. Oh, all of those moments. Yeah, still one of the students, so yeah, he's in a bit of trouble. Yeah, so Johnny's in trouble, and there's Miguel, who is showing more investment in the sport at the point where he's wanted to learn something new, and Johnny, probably remembering what Chris has taught him, knows that's still a bit of a long way to go. Oh, they're actually in a relationship. Okay, so not just dating, but yeah, no thanks to Johnny's comments, Daniel's become a bit sceptical of Kyla, especially as Kyla was the aggressor in the situation that they briefly talked about last night, I assume. Louis, the cousin. Oh yeah, Daniel's not been listening. Yeah, understandable why. Ah, Daniel's talked about the situation with her, yeah. It's nice for them to share things. Hmm. Yeah, just see more about this duo that Daniel has. Okay, so yeah, when Daniel gets interested later, so he looks like he's taking advice from his cousin. Yeah, his cousin's in the blue shirt, by the way, without the waistcoat. Mount. Oh, okay. Oh no, I thought that's the name of the school. No, it's the same name as the football team. Oh yeah, that's the phone call referring to Eli. Yeah, Eli's mum made the call, and we get to see that in um, like see that actual, well, the other end of the phone in the following season. A very well acted scene. Yeah, Dimitri seems to be quite cynical of the idea. He's partially right because you can't just learn karate then instantly be cool, but but once you put the work to it, then it does help build your confidence in that. And yeah, that Dimitri's yet to learn, but as we know, Cobra Kai won't be his flavour, you could say. And text neutral from afar. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, is this this is the first time they talk to each other. So yeah, I see Aisha being quite um yeah, seem really nice friends so far. And we see that Aisha's a bit nerdy as well. Oh yeah, of course, with the robot camp that was mentioned in the last episode. Yeah, I forgot the. Oh, Yasmin, is that what the blonde girls are called? Yeah, she's been rather snarky, and we can see that she's not very nice towards Aisha. That's a payoff. Quite a conclusion to jump to. I wouldn't mind doing a job like that. Get to be out in the sun, get some vitamin D. Yeah, and Johnny's doing his best to advertise. Oh gosh, that ink will be expensive for the printer unless he's used some kind of local library. Oh yeah, he's not getting much with this so far. Oh yeah, we get this. That's a cool way. With the poster, and Johnny's trying to be like, hey, karate gets the girls. Are you interested? So, yeah. But yeah, it just looks like that notion is not what all of them agree. Yep, Johnny left out again. Oh yeah, taking that off. Yeah, he's almost given up with the whole advertising. Oh yeah, so that's where Daniel's going to act on his cousin's advice. Oh no! Oh, okay. What I'm going to do immediately? Okay, so it's when the laptop chimes. So that's where starts to get curious. That's a nice picture for a laptop. my background's just a black screen at the moment. Oh, nice one. So with what Kyle just said, yeah, but Daniel's is a bit worried with what Kyle's going to be like. Oh yeah, and then this is where we see yep, so hasn't done much of a job with the sign. Yeah, what is he going to do? Oh, yeah, it looks like oh, he's going back to the beer if he's had hard trouble. Yeah, it's definitely his character at this point. And yeah, Miguel has a far more modern way of advertising. Yeah, because with Johnny being like stuck in the past, he definitely wouldn't have thought of something like this. Yeah, and Miguel must also be quite intelligent. Created his own website. Looks better than any sites I've made. Oh, yeah, this is where they talk about the rock music. Yeah, I've listened to the entirety of rap. Me in 2013. That's just 80s in general, not just rock music. Oh, okay. Did you know how to kick already? Yeah, also, yeah, the exchange about rock music, yeah, really nice touch to their friendship. Chaperones. Oh, yeah, so that means Daniel's going to keep an eye on the dance. Yeah, quite an interesting choice. Counselor. Oh, is that the person who was making the announcement about the phone call earlier? Okay. Okay. I like that from the sun. Yeah, so that's something you'll see more of Johnny's way of teaching. He starts using other places. Yeah, because Chris would have just taught everything in his dojo, so yeah, Johnny's just trying to go outside the box. Not gonna lie, I'm more of a kicking person at first, but I see where Johnny's coming from. I guess it depends what situation you're in. Yeah, and for those who are wondering, are they even allowed in there? That does get acknowledged. Oh, I'm not sure if Miguel can swim. I'm not the biggest fan of the P word, but Johnny just makes it sound so cool. Oh yeah, yeah, looks like Miguel can't swim. Just keep kicking and you'll be fine. Yeah, the way he's just like grabbing his hair, it just goes to show that Johnny's a bit more, forthright, a bit like Kreese, because Kreese would have been quite physical. But yeah, that's just something that Johnny gets better at. Becomes less aggressive. Well, we know that the strike first element is there, but just without the baggage. There we go. Cool montage and kicking. God, yeah, that must be. Oh, I wonder when he breaks it. Yeah, quite an interesting thing to practice on. Oh yeah, he's got his toes bent back so he doesn't break them when kicking the board. Yeah. Oh wow, face shot already. He's doing well. That actually kind of reminds me of Terry's wooden model, except John is using far thinner wood. Yeah, watch Karate Kid 3 if you don't know what that mean. Yep, so they're in trouble, yeah, they just quickly need to escape. Kind of reminds me of that moment from last Christmas where they get out, break into an ice rink to quickly practice, and need to be told off and they have to leave. Yeah. Oh, okay, so he's in the party to get more students. Oh, it's not a bad costume, I like it. I like it. Yeah, like Johnny calling Miguel poor. I think it's probably like a way to make Johnny feel almost like better about himself because he's poor as well. But just not belittling Miguel. It's just trying to make a light joke out of it because of how what the costume is like. Oh, I like it. And we go back to Karate Kid 1 reference. Quite cool detail. I wonder, Johnny must have kept the costume. Yeah, Dream Dimitri's more specific. An interesting detail. And from Eli. Oh yeah, especially because he's using the mask to hide his insecurity. Oh yeah, so Daniel can see. Yeah, Daniel's already going to try and keep an eye on Sam. Ah, okay. So yeah, Johnny's in the school as well. I wondered how he. Johnny, they want him in or something. It's not that it accepts the advert. Yeah, I wondered how Johnny got in. He must have used a back door. Oh wait, no. In the following seasons, he talks about how he knows like the secret entrances. So yeah, that fixes that. Although it just looked like all the like tunnels underneath the floor. Yeah, a nice line. To think that the elements are lame, but to say that. That's right. I hope the audio is not making my headphone audio isn't like reaching the speaker. I don't want to be done for copyright. I couldn't have used put like music underneath. I also have to see first. She's definitely watched his adverts. Probably knows who he is before. Oh, okay. She's probably in the same school. Oh, Daniel probably should say that you're married to Amanda. Oh yeah, and Daniel's probably seen the poster as well. And yep, there you go. There's the skeleton costumes from the flashback. Yep. Seen the poster. Yeah, it's going to. Yeah, because obviously, you probably could infer that the skeleton costume is who he saw last night. Um, but now he's found out who was really putting them up, and of course it's Johnny. Yep. So you just get to see the perspectives. Johnny's already trying to make it his own thing, and then also really cynical about the whole thing. And yeah, after Daniel initially having that goal, he's going to focus on that because Johnny's no problem at the moment for him. Despite the antics Johnny's going for, that of course is annoying Daniel. Probably look like Matt Smith's Doctor. Oh yeah, there's one more Doctor Who reference in the following season. Yeah, proper nerds they are. Although I like Doctor Who though. The RTD era in 2005 and 2002, 2009, yeah, rather solid stuff. I like it a lot. I was trying to remember how accessible my classrooms were in these parties. I want to say that the doors were locked, but I'm not sure. But yeah, not every door's going to have locks, so that's understandable. Oh, no, there's a lock in that door. Well, the students mostly kept an eye on, so that's fine. As long as students aren't doing anything too bad. Oh yes, so that's where Daniel gets that wrong idea. Being quite protective. Although the idea of what Carly did last night, that will still bother him. Oh yeah, this is where technology starts to be part of the Miyagi-verse, as some people call it. Quite a cool name. But yeah, like if bullying and that is like a theme in in this universe, then to see it in like with with phones getting involved, it does create some interesting ideas. Yeah. At least Aisha has a cool idea later on, as you'll see in the following episode or two. Yeah, I think Miguel was already getting an idea of, oh, I could probably overthrow these people. Oh no. Yeah, I think they just must have been curious, but until they accidentally revealed themselves, yeah, them two will be running off. But yeah, Miguel, after being training, it's already, yeah, Miguel already thinks he's, like above them because from the training he's done. Yeah, it's just going to his head. Yeah, because there's more evidence of that later on where Miguel starts to have like this mindset of the need to attack because of the whole strike first philosophy. But but this time it's cost him because. Oh yeah, Kylie was just making sure he's all in the clear. God, those must be some nasty bruises. Yeah, especially hardwood like that. Whatever that tool was, it's like I don't know the name of the sport. I think it's in the Wild Child film. Oh, Ali was a sports person. Wonder if that was said in the film. But yeah, just adds to this idea of Johnny like re-encountering his past because it's the school he used to go to as well, which explains the whole secret entrance thing Gritty Talk mentions in season 3. Yeah, Johnny proper feels bad there. Having Miguel's been attacked because of Miguel trying to fight despite how early he is on his training. I've got the episode back to the beginning, by the way, as I conclude. Yeah, so you have the first introductory episode, you have the second one to make sure that you keep the story invested, and then you have these episodes in between which help continue the story. Because I think at this point, if structuring it, I think we're still at the what I call the fun and games section after the inciting incident, because both Johnny and Miguel are learning all sorts. Well, no, if anything, it's Miguel's still training, but now he's hit like a miniature low point, a bit of bad luck. Yeah, an instance of thinking he has enough knowledge, but no, he's far from it. He needs more training if he's going into a fight, especially against multiple people, and we see that pay off later. So yeah, despite having with after 1 or 2 happening being these these massive changing episodes, and then you just have this nice little episode in between, and they do I'm going to shuffle around the episode a bit just to conclude. So we see the grandma and the mum for the first time, get some idea, see Dad will be more sceptical of Kyle, and Samantha's not really pleased with his dad because of what's happened. Johnny's in a weird financial situation which he'll be needed to work on, but now he's got Miguel beaten up, so that will definitely add to some kind of doubt that Johnny will have with continuing this business idea, because not only is Miguel down, and his mum and grandma won't be impressed, as we will see in the following episode. But yeah, Paula's not getting any money yet, and because I think Miguel is already paying. I think all of these students are paying. And we see an interesting moment where Johnny uses the old-fashioned way to advertise, only for Miguel to come in. He has this idea, and an idea that could possibly be scrapped after what would happen in the end of the start of episode 4, being at least a slight taste on as Johnny and Miguel and Cobra Kai itself goes back on track later on in the season. Interesting to see more of the school, of Aisha getting bullied. That has a payoff later, which a payoff I didn't really expect, actually. I thought Aisha was going to be almost like a subplot for Sam, but no, she's part of a bigger thing, and so you'll get some idea later. And more training, especially with the kicking, learn another type of fighting with practicing against wood, and then swimming, building up that leg strength. I was interested to learn about. Because they're like proper like kickbox techniques, because in the original Karate Kid films, the Miyagi-Do, what Daniel was taught, there was a lot of like swift and specific movements to help defense and counter, but you can see how Cobra Kai is almost similar to kickboxing, with how to punch and kick properly. And also cool to see Miguel going into music and making more of an effort towards Cobra Kai, because it's just a nice focus for him. Well, a focus that he needs to have a better mindset of, because you can't kick Kylo. I think he can get away with it. He needs to learn way more, and that's what the show later explores. Like I said, just a nice little episode. A lot of other planted seeds which get paid off later on. I might do an episode ranking of. I feel like it's unfair to rank, because as much as I really like the first episode of how good of a start it is, and the following one's also cool as well, but even this episode has cool moments. I like the kicking montage the best. Just a nice little episode in between, and I think we'll end it right there. So I'll see you at episode 4. Hello, welcome to Cobra Kai season 1, episode 4, the commentary. So I would advise you to watch the others before going to this one, unless you want to see what this video is like. Sadly, low production, but I do the best I can despite my limited resources and the scheduling. I hope you enjoy this, for those who like story and for those who like this show. And despite, going, talking as the episode goes along, hopefully learn some new bits and bobs, and I probably learn more about the episode as well. Anyway, this episode is called Cobra Kai Never Dies, which I think is a line that comes from the third film, because sometimes when it comes to IPs or famous franchises, a lot of the filmmakers will just primarily go for the good films but leave the bad films aside, which is always a really bad decision because you're just retconning all sorts and it will confuse your audience. But the creators of Cobra Kai are smart by acknowledging all the films, because a lot of people initially thought that 3 and 4 were terrible. And granted, 1 and 2 are good, especially the first one. So the following ones aren't perfect, but thanks to this series, and even if just watching the films on their own, they're actually okay. So, and yeah, I think it is just mainly thanks to this show where the other films are appreciated. Even the fourth one, despite Hilary Swank's character, forgot her name, not appearing in this series yet. Really hope she comes. Would be a really nice cherry on top for this series. Really cool character to see again. Anyway, yeah, let's get on with this episode. So yeah, last time we were there, then alright, so let's just start pressing play. 3, 2, 1. So Miguel's in a tough position. He's just got beaten. Johnny's financially down, and then you have Samantha being let down by his dad Daniel as well. But anyway, yeah, that's all the catching up. And yeah, that's Robbie, who's Johnny's son. So yeah, after being kicked out of school, so at first you would think, oh, did he manage to find a job? But as you find out, he's just he's just managed to find quicker yet more controversial ways of making money. Robbie does well at presents himself as a worker, only to find out that's not the case. Yeah, because with the two others he sees later, imagine them taking that kind of role. Yeah, I got to see that happening, but Robbie does seem to be a lot smarter. Oh my god, did they rob that from another worker, like temporarily? Did they pay him? Oh gosh, that must have affected him well to not expose this little heist. Oh, I never noticed that before. So yeah, and this is where you get like some kind of idea for what the dynamic between the three of them are like. At first, anyway. Kind of sporty with skateboarding. Yeah, I'm not sure how much Robbie knows about Johnny's Cobra Kai at this point. I would say little because Johnny wasn't always there for Robbie. Oh wow, okay, so he's admitting that it's his dad in front of his mate. That's interesting. Yeah, then too, do you see Johnny later on? Yeah, that moment of season 3, proper hilarious. Sorry for burping. Oh yeah, that's where you get to see snippets of Johnny's probably talked about everything. What Miguel's been doing all this time. Miguel says the line again, trying to keep up with that fighting spirit, despite how beaten he is. Because sometimes when you get hurt like that, you get put off. But no, it looks like Miguel's really wanting to stick to it. But of course, his mum knows what's happened, and he won't. She's not gonna let him without a very good reason. Yeah, and after seeing Daniel's poster again, I think at this Daniel's at the moment is just something for him to get frustrated at, and not to mention some of Daniel's belittling from the previous episode. Trying to compare him to Kreese and that, which probably enjoyed Johnny, but Johnny's drunk again, and looking at the billboard, God knows what else he's going to be up to. Oh my gosh. Yep, so he's still mad at Daniel. Yes, I think that's where Daniel's going to I think he'll at least keep an eye on her whilst giving her space. I think that's still the mindset he has at the moment. So yeah, that's what Johnny did last night. I wondered how he got up the billboard. He must have. Oh yeah, so Daniel's talked about that situation with Amanda as well. Yeah, they're like a nice open couple. Yeah, they communicate well. Oh yeah, so. Yeah, it is property damage after all, so no wonder the police are involved. Yeah, Cole is a rival in this car business. There wasn't a name Cole that appeared in the films? I want to say yes, but I suppose I'll need to get myself need to remind myself of that. Again, there's Amanda trying to make himself feel better. I guess a good way of showing it, because yeah, I won't, if I'm not the most TV person, so yeah, I'll just be like looking at that, not bother who is on the billboard. It's just benefiting Johnny, really. If anything, it will just be confusing everyone for why Daniel's been drawn on. Yeah, so that's similar to Daniel's dynamic with his mum, just not wanting his help despite being beaten. Yeah, and we can see his mum's definitely not into karate. Yeah, and then there's grandma being like, oh, he has this focus, and oh, his mum is already assuming Johnny, but no, Miguel knows Johnny the best at this point. Johnny just tries his best despite being low. So his car keys, did they fall off his sketch? Did he drive again? Couple of months? Oh wow, so the Halloween thing happened way after episode 2 then. Okay. First thing to wake up is drink after a call. Well, no, during a call rather. Oh wait, I thought, was Robbie expelled unless he was oh, maybe Robbie was temporarily excluded, but yeah, Robbie's not come back despite being expected to be back. But yeah, that's something that John's going to work on. Not sure if he has anything else better to do. Yeah, so not only is Johnny down on the money, but he felt really bad, for what the mum was saying to him. Yeah, look at those injuries. Yeah, got a good few hits from Kyla and presumably the others as well. And then Aisha getting bullied, no thanks to social media. Yeah, and Sam trying to make Aisha try and feel better about herself, but yeah, it looks like Aisha's just really, yeah, no wonder it must be really hard. Be careful, Sam might look around. What's the notification? Oh, okay, it's just Dan trying to make up for him. Wait, I just said the wrong thing. Yeah, just him trying. Oh, I got them words mixed up, but just trying to make some amendments with his daughter. Oh yeah, it's this way he does like a sausage prank. Oh yeah, the delivery person smiling and knows what's up, with the billboard. You're giving sausages, at least it'll be nice to have for dinner later. Both of them are just sent up to do the billboard. Okay, another pop culture reference, I suppose. Oh god, that's going to be hard to do. Oh yeah, for Johnny doing the billboard, he must have been not minding the steps when drunk. Yeah, that's Robbie's current lifestyle with the others. And Johnny trying to do something about it. Yeah, it's the first time then they two meet. Well, the first time we see them talk. It's probably the last time they haven't seen each other in ages. Oh, and Johnny's already trying to roast his mate. Oh yeah, subtitles nowadays. No, it's just my reading. Yeah. Oh, so yeah, Robbie fibbed about the trip. Was he still excluded though? And yeah, Johnny knows how to keep the others quiet. Yeah. So at this point, yeah, because I think at first you would have think, oh, did him and Natalie go back together? But no, it's a totally other woman that Johnny encountered. Oh, so Robbie knows about the rivalry. Okay. And admitting that he saw the posters as well. For 16, God, that's a long time. So if Robbie is done in secondary school and it's been 16 years, yeah, Johnny must have left Robbie quite earlier on. Yeah, poor Johnny's unable to help Robbie. Yeah, Robbie's a tough nut to crack. I wonder who else could help him. Wink, wink. Yeah, and Dimitri's just been cynical again about karate. Oh, and there's Eli talking about the positives. Yeah, interesting perspective. Yep, so they're just running off again. Yeah, when you look at season 3, it's far more satisfying when Eli gets his back on them, or at least one of them. Yeah, Miguel's still standing up tough. Standing up tough, is that a term? Is it cinnamon and gooseberry yogurt, which I'm referencing the Catherine Tate skit. It's quite funny. But yeah, as you'll see later, yeah, Sam sees this. But yeah, the bullying continues. Yeah, of course, despite Miguel's best efforts, him and his mates are still getting like roasted, and it's nice that Miguel's still sticking with the mates, because sometimes they like leave that friendship group because they're getting brought down with them. But yeah, looks like Miguel's not having second thoughts about that. He's probably happy that he still has mates. And then his mum right here is trying to make Miguel feel better. What was the mum's name? Is it Carmen or something? Yeah, Miguel's really not much not much to do anything, especially after being bullied by Kyle again. And yeah, and his mum respects him by giving him some space. Almost a parallel to Daniel and Samantha, like a tiny parallel. Oh yeah, I think this is where they finding out what his rival Cole has been up to. Just to imagine that from Daniel. He's not seen Johnny, Chosen, nor oh God, I forgot the bully in the third film. Barnes, Mike Barnes, I think that's what it was. And then he's like, "Oh God, another rival." Yeah, it must be exhausting. Yeah, and this is Cole trying to get some kind of upper hand by almost nicking Daniel's ideas. But as shown later, Daniel at least has a reason for the karate stuff and the bonsai tree. He stole my ideas. Yeah, so Cole thinks he has an upper hand by being more American. He's going to go to see him right now, isn't he? Yep, I do remember the encounter. And is that Robbie's mum? I think so. Yeah, first time we see her. She's not a character you see much, but she does have a couple of key scenes, especially this one where they first meet one another. And yeah, it looks like she's still single. Must be a very long time since the last seen each other. Yeah, she's too busy on a date with her phone in her handbag, I suppose, assuming her dress has pockets. A dozen? You might be sick. Well, yeah, he's slightly intimidated by Johnny. Yeah. Johnny always presents himself as being quite hard, and yeah, it's not warranted. No, sorry, screw the warranted thing, that's the wrong word. Sorry, I do that sometimes. It's just, it's understandable why Johnny looks tough, thanks to all the karate and that. Oh, does she know? First time ever. Oh. Yeah, Johnny had, very little memory. He lost his original dad too soon and needed to be brought up by his stepdad, and Chris he saw as like a substitute. He probably just didn't know how to, I think as shown later, I think he admits about how he didn't know enough on how to be a good dad. But thanks to this series, he starts learning a bit more, which is learning more about it, which is quite nice. Day one, that's soon. Have Robbie and Johnny ever talk to each other? Unless Robbie's always been not keen on Johnny. I wonder what their previous exchanges were like. Yeah, them two clearly don't get on, and it looks like the mum's given up because of how much of a low point Robbie's in. Oh, it must have been quite a dark bar that was went to. You know, not many windows. Yeah, I just thought it went back to light time. I thought it took like a day for Daniel to travel, but no, it's just some bars just only lit up by its own lighting. Yeah, I like the end of this scene, and you get to see a little bit for what Cole's like. Yeah, what's he drinking? He talks about what he drinks. Oh yeah, that's probably what it's got Daniel the most because you know of bonsai trees being tied to Miyagi or Mr. Miyagi. Oh, he doesn't know much about Daniel until now. Yep, 2-time karate champ. Yep, this show is acknowledging film number 3. Nice one. Yeah. I remember Ralph Macchio, who plays Daniel. He was never been a fan of the third one. For just quite a long time. But hopefully, thanks to this show, I think hopefully he'll look on his own third film more fondly. Huh. Interesting quote. A boba, what would that be? Oh, it's trying to reference the billboard. Oh, and the others seem to be behind Cole. That is a. Is that a crescent kick? Oh, I don't know how to do those in kickboxing, or used to. But yeah, I really like that. Daniel's not, trying to beat him up or anything. He's done something else to make him, go on top to say, no, I'm actually won this fight. Because I think Cole does drop the advert, after the complaint. Oh yeah, and there's some not, not being keen on Kyler after. I wondered how Kyler trying to twist the narrative. But yeah, they must have met recently. Samantha's only started to find out about Kyler's bullying. Bullying. Oh, she's known to do that. Oh, yep, she's using a bit of karate to. He's in a bit of a shock. Like, what did he just experience? Yeah, some cool techniques there. That Samantha did, because you only find out she becomes interested in karate at the end of the season. But to remember those little details, yeah, that's probably one of my favourite moments of season 1, really. Yeah, she's fishy and do it, Kyle. Oh yeah, not to mention, this is a really nice scene as well. Just missing part of his life, which he thinks at this point he won't have again. But for those who know season 5, he does get another chance, which is really nice. At first, you think that he's talking to Robbie, but no, he's he's taken some words from his ex as well. I forgot the name of Robbie's mum. Yeah, he's talking to a Carmen then, and looks like she's willing to give him another shot. Yeah, because Johnny at this point, he feels like after having little to no chance with Robbie, he at least has a better shot at giving Miguel a better second chance. Oh wow, he's not letting her decide immediately. Okay, that's nice. Gives her time to think. And then there's persuasion from the grandma. She's probably watched the first few episodes of Cobra Kai and likes him already. Sorry, bad joke. And yeah, later on, them two kind of that as him, Daniel and his daughter, getting on again. mainly because Kyle's out of the picture. Yeah, but Daniel's still bothered about Cole. That's It's nice that Daniel provides a variety of breakfast for his kids. I always have the same breakfast, not gonna lie, unless I'm on holiday. Banana-rama? Okay. He needs to make his daughter happy again. I think she has an excuse, unlike you, mate. Oh, there you go. I think he would have been willing to give Kyla another chance. But yeah, just look. Yeah, I guess like some relief that Kyla's out of the picture. Yeah, especially if he's in one of the catalysts for fighting earlier. Hey, I think even after the mum's previous scene, I think she would have still thought about it, despite the grandma's nice comment. But yes, nice to get Miguel back on track. Oh yeah, these chants are really cool. Yeah, some people said that Johnny's chants in the show is better than he did in the films. Interesting thing. I suppose you're able to know how to use your voice box more when you're older. I'm not sure. Also interesting that with not doing Cobra Kai in ages, but he's able to protect his voice well. Hey, and he's got his billboard back properly, and it's not bothered about Cole anymore. Oh yeah, so after finding what they encountered on the billboard, and so that was there as well. I think with how drunk Johnny was, no wonder one of those would have slipped out. Probably a bit contrived to provide a lead for them, but I suppose they would have found out eventually. Who knows? Just another interesting idea. So yeah, despite Daniel and Johnny not seeing each other in this episode, it's really getting it's going to be a bit more serious between them. Oh yeah, because I think he must have thought that Cole and the others, or somebody else of his, were one of them who did the billboard, and he's found out it was Johnny. So, sorry, just like I said, subtitles are far too you need to read all at once. It's weird because I enjoy reading subtitles, but I do sometimes miss things, and it's not helped by me speaking as well, and with very little volume from the headphones that are just aside of me. Anyway, so another really good episode. Get to see more about just skim through the episode. Like Robbie's current status quo. Get to see some intelligence from him. Coming up with a trip to the principal, and then I know the principal found out it was an error, but for Robbie to make that kind of excuse, and also breaking into the store, probably a bit questionable how he did that. Although if he borrowed someone else's uniform, I bet that what he's wearing around his neck probably allowed him access. So okay. So that's how he got in and out. So a bit more about him. I feel like most of what to expect is already set here, because we got I can't really see any more character introductions. I can only think of one more in the final episode, and you'll get those. Oh, actually, no, we've introduced a Cole, but he seems to be a one-off case. Bit of a introduction. No, an interesting expansion in Daniel's work life. To have another working rival, someone. Looks like Cole's out of the way for now, and I say for now because he does come back, and they're another interesting part of season 3. And then have this overarching narrative for Johnny where he goes from losing Miguel, being shouted at by his mum, and then after hearing about Robbie, he tries to sort him out. That doesn't work, and then he, talks to his ex. I don't think it's his ex-wife. It's probably just his ex-girlfriend, but still the mum of the mother for Robbie, and because she too is also has that similar attitude to Robbie, where just not wanting to listen to Johnny, but at least the mum has like some interesting advice for Johnny that will influence his decision later. And the final bit that gets Johnny to try and get Miguel back on track is just seeing another dad and his son. Just I think just Johnny at the cafe there, not only is it Johnny just seeing what he's missed out, but I think it just goes to show that he at least has another chance with Miguel, not like a father-son relationship at this point, but at least Miguel is something that he can like help in life, because karate in this universe, you could say, is a big deal, and karate helps with how you live in that. And Miguel really needs it. We're not just the bullies, but just to make himself more tougher. But at this point, Miguel's shown signs of not knowing when to throw his, just like throwing his fist at the wrong time, you could say, especially when he kicked Kyler at the previous episode and not knowing what to do himself afterwards. And you can also see that the Cobra Kai kind of reminds me of Morty Road or EastEnders, where it's multiple storylines, multiple characters, and it goes back and forward. Season 1, however, is the most focused with who the main character is, and it's still developing some more than others, because Daniel and Miguel are like they're like the next important ones after Johnny, and then it goes on to Robbie, and you probably get the idea. The rest are just pretty much secondary. Just like episode 3, just a couple of nice introducing other things. Like I said, Robbie's status quo, what Robbie is currently like with Robbie and his mum, and Carly's out of the picture. They do use these episodes really well with what they're introducing or what they are deciding to cut off as the other things progress. At this point, they keeping the characters consistent. There's good lot of things going on, and Johnny's still on to his goal. He is going to have another go with getting Cobra Kai back on its feet, despite still only having Miguel. But not to mention, I think the real interesting part is not only the Daniel finding the poster on his billboard, to find out what Johnny's doing, but Miguel being in defence as well. Just really interesting to see how better Miguel will get from extra training from Johnny. Just another really good episode. Because sometimes it shows, sometimes you're like, oh, I really like this, or I really dislike this. But when I watch this show, I'm kind of equal with the quality or how I rate these episodes. I think I would be fun to do an episode ranking of this show one day. I'll probably note that down for myself, actually. But I just really like individual scenes and moments and lines. That's what I kind of think of the most. Anyway, so I hope you're still enjoying this. Sorry for the silences. Sometimes it's just been instances where I'm just trying to figure out what to talk about, especially when they're talking about like the business side of things. I just want to know what to say about it, because I'm not very a good business person, especially when Daniel was talking to the marketing team alongside Cole. So apologies for that. I'll leave you to your day or whatever, or we could move on to my next episode, which is either there or not. As I record this, I'm wondering when to do these one at a time or at once. Anyway, hope you liked the video, etc., and I'll see you. Hello, welcome to the commentary for episode 5. I'm on a tight schedule. Watch the previous videos. Anyway, if you've got your episodes ready, 3, 2, 1. Sorry, I just ran. Oh, okay, let's see what this episode is. Because as I'm remembering a lot of these seasons, I don't know which scene is part of which episode yet. Got a few good guesses, but still. Oh, sorry. Oh, yeah, I have 2 sets of stairs in my house. Anyway, let's start talking about this episode. So, yeah, we'll about to see Miguel performing more of an effort to not only training, but he's making himself fitter to make himself more able to fight. Yeah, and compared to when he was really struggling with the press up of his knuckles in the second episode, and to do press ups like that, yeah, it's really good. Yeah, a good sign of progression. Oh, those defences were interesting. Oh. Oh, so this is taking over. Oh my god, it's past Christmas already. Yeah, the Christmas decoration, yeah, that's an interesting way to show the progression. Oh yeah, he's getting better already. Yeah, and he's broke free of a choke, that's good. Yeah, also kind of cool to refer to the Cobra as a way to talk about the techniques, especially slithering. Oh, that's one. Ah, oh, I'm rubbish at dragon sweeps. Oh! Oh, God. Oh yeah, that's quite an interesting thing, with brand new Hall being ready to use, instead of hiring another. Oh, is this how Johnny's able to get money by sharing the studio? Oh no, sorry, a better line confused me. Yeah, but kind of funny for his studio to be borrowed. Yeah, thankfully, yeah, this doesn't happen, especially when he gets more students. Yeah, the way they cover the quote as well. As if one post is going to make a difference, you're going to need a whole other decoration if you want to make it more of a yoga studio than a dojo. Oh yeah, so he's like the taxman almost, the one who gets paid for with stores not being open and that. Yeah, and it's interesting to have Daniel be somewhat close to like the head of taxes in the area. Yeah, it's interesting to see Daniel be a pretty good businessman as well, because he started off as selling bonsai trees, and yeah, he's really picked it up. I wonder if Miyagi had some tips for him. Oh, sorry, if Miyagi had some tips for him. Sorry if I've missaid that. Yeah, it looks like a rich place as well. Yeah, that Daniel can afford, as well as of course the taxman can afford this. So even Sam's and her friends are being quite distant of her. Oh, and there are reasons why, such as dumping Kyler and that. Oh yeah, that's probably the left is probably the taxman's son. Yeah, for the son to say, "Hey, karate completely is cooler than everything else." Yeah, I think that's a nice moment. There are times where Daniel's son is, a bit more tolerable because people. I can see why people would find him annoying to watch, but at least he's far more improved later on. I will not know what to say with that. Yeah, looks like Daniel didn't either, but just managed just to go along. Good for him. Reseda. Oh yeah, so that's where Daniel has his plan, which you'll see later on. Snake karate plan later on, where to try and drive Johnny out of this whole Cobra Kai thing. Yeah, that's why Daniel's talking to the taxman, so that the taxman could increase the profits, which should drive Johnny out. But by doing that to Johnny, it's doing that to everyone else, which Daniel does really acknowledge. So yeah, he's going to get a bit of a slap in the wrist for that. And that's where you get to see Robbie and his mum. Yeah, so yeah, it's quite an interesting dynamic. She keeps going out all the time, leaving Robbie aside. Yeah, leaving Robbie to be quite isolated as well. And she doesn't seem to care about Johnny going out and not Johnny, Robbie going out and about with these people, despite what Johnny described to her in the last episode. Oh, you should put in her needs before his. Not a good look. Yeah, she's trying to say, oh, I need someone, to be happy, to be happy for you, but Robbie needs to be put first. So yeah, it's still interesting to see the dynamic though. What them two are like at that point. Yeah, what else would you hit? Oh, some good left hooks and uppercuts too. Yep, so I told you Aisha makes a really interesting decision. Oh, she found out through the website, okay. Shows the website paying off. I really like that line, it just really goes to show how out of time Johnny is. And I thought Captain America was out of time. Oh yeah, Miguel's shown to be aware of this. Yeah, of course, Johnny needs the money. There's no reason to refuse. Yeah, it's nice progression for for Johnny to drop those beliefs and kind of accept them. But even if he needs more people for the money, it's still nice for him to help someone else. Yep, it's not black and white. She's not as spooked as Miguel. I also really like Johnny's line about how he's like, "Oh, those are wimps on computers." Instead of using their fists, I think they can fight you um, through the screens. But yeah, Aisha's done well to. Yeah, she's. Yeah, gosh, those comments, she's done well to overcome that. But karate's definitely something that will help her. Johnny just immediately goes from sympathetic to, yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's what I was talking about earlier. Yeah, it's a good point actually. Say it to their face. Yeah, the fists do break the keyboard and the screens after all. Yeah, quite a nice start with them two. Yeah, it definitely makes me like Ayusha more as a character. Was he the Oh, is this where the? Oh, is that the area he used to be first moved into in the first film? Is that what it is? Armand. Okay, so that's his name. Okay. I don't. I don't. Yeah. So I think that back then, yeah, I think it was just Daniel and Armand making more of a move on increasing the taxes of that area. Um, but yeah, it's just because I'm not very good with businesses and that. I'm not sure if I've yeah probably yeah I kind of wish I knew more about business to talk about the scene more so the previous scene. Going back to when I mentioned about the Catherine Tate skit from the previous episode, it just reminds me of another skit where she's a mum with a car full of kids, and she's like, "Don't look at the person on your right, just keep looking ahead." While she's yeah, it's quite funny. That it just kind of reminds me of that. Oh, and another person just comes into the car. Thankfully, it's Sam. That helps them. Oh, and the woman in the background just starting walking away. Kyla. Oh, that's a fib, isn't it? Oh, stupid Kyla twisting the story again. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, this does make the mates a bit. Oh, so it's just yeah. The scene does. Oh yeah, Moon is the brunette friend on the at the wheel. By the way, but yeah, does oh gosh, but yeah, just Sam's mates being a bit more unlikable, which yeah, real shame for Sam. You can still hit her elsewhere. He's right. Robinson. Okay, so that's her surname. Okay, these bits and bobs kind of come back to me. I've got my girl's surname as Diaz. Oh, but just as I learned, if you get hurt, use the pain and go against them. Oh, that was that. Oh, yeah, those are her own moves. Yeah, good one. Yeah, and Johnny's definitely would be. Oh, okay. So you're just only seen from the subtitles alone. Yeah, Yeah, that's what he manages to hear. Oh yeah, Johnny's using his iconic line. Even with residents, it's not just the students. Ah, market value. Okay, so yeah, Daniel's and him must the taxman must have been talking about market value to to add more of a reason for why to bring the prices up. But we all know Daniel's reason, what we eventually do. Oh well, load of other segments added to the website. E.T.'s rocking his fire. Huh. Oh, is Firebird the car? Probably would have liked to read that in full. Oh, yeah, and this just shows how isolated Robbie is. I said something I wanted to say earlier is that I think after Johnny left his dojo, I wonder if Miguel has given Aisha some tips or just continues sparring, which is another way of saying practice fighting. Yeah, Robbie's in like that blue lighting, which is like separate from that orange lighting or just any other different lighting that someone was walking through. Just really adding to the visual isolation, which quite an interesting film choice. Oh, it's the first time we see him. Robbie's and Johnny's used the magazine too much. Yeah, even I know that's an Atari. Yeah, they're like 70s consoles. Oh, yeah, but yeah, of course, Johnny would have been born in the 70s. But yeah, Johnny does keep coming back to this guy. That is a lot. Just give him what he can do. Yeah, Johnny still comes back. Yeah, trying to make money and yeah, it just seems to be one of his methods of trying to get extra cash. Did he actually yeah, like I said, if he comes back for it, he must have got something out of the store. Oh no. Or at least I used to stay, to provide more income. Oh, but the tax has gone up. Or the rent, rather. I should have called him the rent man. Oh, whose car is that? Oh no, no, unless that was relevant. Oh, I think I remember who was in the car. But yeah, Johnny's pretty much down, being disappointed by the rent, and yeah, once again he just keeps going back to his drinking. Oh no, just accidentally skip the episode ahead. Okay, there you go. If I rearrange it like that, that should be okay. Hmm. Yeah. Does Daniel know about? Oh no, he surely would have been aware of bringing the prices up for the other area. Does he not see it yet? Oh, he's hiding the fact from Johnny that that if he was part of the catalyst of bringing the prices up. At least he's paying for Johnny. But yeah, I guess it goes to show that Daniel seems to have his sneaky ways, like hiding a secret like that from Johnny. The 2013. Yeah, what year was the first season? Yeah, just another thing. Yeah, another thing that they communicated. Yeah, they seem to be sharing everything. Good couple. Although that's kind of turned on its head after what Daniel's been trying to do. Sakiri, is that his surname? Or his. Which one was his surname or forename with the taxman? There we go, that's Daniel's plan properly explained, but Amanda is like, but yeah, what about the others? At least Daniel sees his ways afterwards, but yeah, this is like the most snide thing he's done ever, like so far. Yeah, this obviously shows that this reignited rivalry with Johnny is already is already really like turning Daniel into something that Amanda's not really keen on, because Amanda's almost like I think she's almost like a moral compass almost. If she has not responded well with a choice that Daniel has. If anything, it reminds Daniel that Daniel should always keep making the right decisions and not be influenced by his rivalry, even as early as this. So yeah, at least Daniel gets his slap and wrist in. Oh no, I usually heard about the rumours as well. But Sam has done nothing to you. I suppose Aisha has been the mostly into Sam because of not supporting her enough during the Halloween party. I think that would be the reason, or could be. Yeah, cool to see Sam try and confront the bullies. How did you know that was his dinner? Oh, did he set up from it perhaps? Can't really see properly what's on those trays. Oh my god, even the billboard story has like gone through the students or talked about with students. Oh yeah, did you see the interesting detail? Sam was nearly going into a fighting position, but instead Miguel's going to fill that role instead. Here comes one of his best lines. Hey! And he strikes first. Well, actually, no, Kyler seems to be the one. Although I think striking, doesn't mean always making the first move, but it's like the first significant move. Oh, yeah, Aisha was already getting into the dig of it. Yeah, this is part of the show's midpoint. Miguel has successfully done, he's learnt karate, he's very good now. And as you'll see later, Johnny, through teaching Miguel, some advice with the tray, kind of like that. But yeah, so yeah, all of that influence is going to get all the kids to want to learn karate, and Johnny will earn more money. So yeah, it's the midpoint for season 1, which makes sense because these seasons always have 10 episodes. Yeah, so Miguel is cool now. Yeah, he's just in shock with, as you will find out later, or just right here. Yeah, he's just yeah, it's just all come to him in a flash. It's I think that's what happens when you become so familiar with something. Oh yeah, at first, I think Johnny kind of would have think that it's probably not the best idea, but I think at the same time, he knows you know, how much of a douchebag Kyler and his friends are. To see Miguel be able to fight against them, I think Johnny's it's still impressed regardless. And also 1981. Wow. Yeah, there you go. That's the midpoint. With them being successful. Oh yeah, to bond close like that. Yeah, definitely that's the midpoint. And also Robbie getting close to this storyline as well. That's going to lead to some interesting things. Yeah, the first time they see Johnny and Miguel be close like that. Yeah, Robbie feeling more left out. I think he wanted to probably see him after, probably learn a bit more about Johnny, but yeah, looks like seeing Miguel there has put him off. Also, yeah, this is definitely one of my favourite seasons of season one. Yeah, this is good fan surface. It's a character from the previous trilogy. Given a lot of respect. Makes sense for the scene to happen. Of course, Daniel would keep seeing Miyagi even. Yeah. Yeah, because I think after Daniel lost his way and seeing the rivalry get to him, he does does seem to feel bad about that. It kind of reminds me of because even in Karate Kid 3, being intimidated a lot by Mike Barnes, he's focused on that rivalry and the misleading teachings from Terry at a point where he just like loses his way and he realizes that. And I think it's obviously it's not what happened with him earlier. It's definitely not the same level, but it is just the rivalries get to him, and with the hot headedness that he has, we've seen that loads of times, and it looks like he still kind of has that trait in him. Yeah, both the actors used to be friends apparently, so it must be really nice for him to pay tribute to Pat's legacy. Is it Pat? Is that his nickname, the Miyagi actor? Really like that shot as well. Oh, it's a seatbelt. I wonder what moved just then on the bottom right. Oh yeah, and there's another flashback. Yeah, even if you don't know who Miyagi is, like fully, if you're not seeing the films, you can already see that he's made a massive influence with Daniel, the one who's actually taught him karate, and also just right here that what you learn from karate you can apply to elsewhere. Yep, and Daniel's reminded of balance. Yeah, because the balancing is not only having one thing more than another. It's just hitting the right mark, and I think from that point on, Daniel's just going to, just I guess just make more sensible decisions after having a small chat with Miyagi. And further evidence of the midpoint, Johnny has more students, there'll be more income for him. Yeah, that's a lot of people. Oh, there you go. Yeah, we see some faces who appear in the future. Yeah, I recognise a couple already. Okay, so then visiting Miyagi also made him interested in going back into karate again. Oh yeah, so balance. So if Johnny may or may not, continue with Cobra Kai and trying to train, and despite Daniel not being aware of Cobra Kai's current status quo, I think Daniel is, thought to train, to as a better opposition compared to Cobra Kai, and as you can see later on in this season, he tries to find someone to teach, to counter, um, Cobra Kai, and it's just also to find balance in himself as well. And it was also really nice to see Amanda, seeing Daniel go back into that hobby again. Probably it'll give him something to focus on, because Amanda has been familiar of Miyagi, as shown in each seasons. So yeah, I think she knows that with Daniel trying to remember it. Yeah, with Amanda remembering what Miyagi taught Daniel. Yeah, you can guess how Amanda may think that Daniel will be at a better spot, considering what's been happening to him with the billboard and Cole and Johnny. Earlier this season, this place was just a storage, and now he's made it into it's his own dojo. You will see Miyagi's house later on in the season, like much later. Yeah, kind of cool that Daniel's made his own training area. Oh, there you go, another bit of warranted fan service. Oh wow, yeah, that still suits him. We just I've completely talked over Robbie infiltrating LaRusso, because I think not only is it another way for Robbie to get his own financial needs if he's continuing to skip school, as evident with stealing the laptop. I think joining LaRusso is also a way to get Johnny jealous as well, considering he's already aware of the rivalry. But yeah, Robbie's about to get way more than that, as you'll probably guess. Yeah, and this is some of the techniques that Daniel was in Karate Kid 3. Both him and Miyagi were. Yeah, here's a tribute for Pat. Very nice. Those techniques that Daniel was performing, because in the third film, him and Miyagi go like back to the basics by repeating like certain movements. And I think it's like the type of defense all in one sequence almost, which was really interesting. Yeah, further showing that the series wants to make Karate Kid 3 cooler, which it's already kind of doing so far. As the midpoint episode, I really like this one as well. A lot of cool things have happened. I think the most interesting part is just the brand new storytelling possibilities. Miguel can fight well. Johnny's no problem with money. He has more students. Daniel's questionable choices have reached a breaking point at a point where he needed to see Miyagi. Now he's got back to going into karate again. And Sam was also interested in Miguel's fighting ability. When skimming from the episode right now. Also, Miguel earning the gi. As Johnny wanted to give Miguel the gi once Miguel has earned it, and absolutely, he's a proper good fighter. Miguel's probably better than me. And I've done about 2 or 3 types of martial arts, because when you go to martial art places, you do learn tips from other martial arts despite studying for a specific one. I think the whole fighting thing was also what got me interested in the show in the first place. And at this point, I was absolutely pleased, because for someone who never really watched the films and just seeing these nice fan service moments, such as Daniel visiting Mr. Miyagi's grave. They're just some really nice moments, to help get more invested and help care about the characters. And thanks to both the writing and the performance from Ralph, you can tell that Mr. Miyagi was a big influence, and that he's always been helpful to Miyagi even after his death. Just really nice detail. I really like that wide shot when he bows to Miyagi as well. Because it's just really nice. I guess there were bits and bobs we learned about the area as well. We now established the taxman who comes and goes. I guess it explores more about the valley. And also interesting that Aisha was kind of got already getting over the bullying, and now Samantha's like the next victim. I wonder how much Daniel finds out about it in the future episodes. I guess we'll have to wait and see about that. Also, yeah, introducing the guy that Johnny was trying to trade with. Yeah, that's another interesting seed that keeps getting revisited. Yeah, so yeah, just all of those new points of the story, and a lot of changes after a lot of significant events with these characters. We pretty much like I said in the previous episode, we know who our leads are, we know who are the spotted characters, and whoever gets introduced are now going to be mine. Just help with the tidiness and the focus of the season. This is definitely one of my favourite episodes of season 1. I'm also tempted to say the favourite. I really like one or two in the room. Anyway, so yeah, that's this episode. I'll go and get going. Anyway, see ya.